Hello and welcome to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group. Well, hello there.
Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?
Good morning. I've had my coffee, so I'm ready for you today.
Good.
Don't know if I can keep up.
That's the one thing we have to know, okay? We both have a lot of energy. I think we were born that way, coming both from New York. I mean, I've had a lot of hosts in my life. I'm just going to give you kudos, man, because you bring out the best of me, and it's like natural. We're not like having here and just talking, and we're both smart. We both know what's going on, but it's just a nice conversation.
Thank you so much. And who would have ever thought New York to Arizona? Like, how does that happen? But it happens.
Well, I tell people that all the time, especially, the kids that I coach and stuff. I said, do you think that I thought that when I'm my age, I'd be out here in Tucson, Arizona, and having a financial business and doing the things I do? No. I said, what you have to do, though, and this is the everyday thing, is have what it takes to be your best every day. Do the right things. And when you have adversity, get better. But have a plan. I tell them, always have a plan and be ready to change that plan as you go.
I love that you approach, financial planning with this team, coaching perspective. This is something we can all relate to in everyday life. I
think so. I mean, it's probably not for everybody. And my style might not be for everybody. But what I try to do is always be able to relate to the people we're talking to, explain to them what we're doing, making sure you take away the stress from them and understand it, and understand I'm no better than them. One of the things that people always laugh, when I started here in Tucson, after I got fired, as you know, I moved here, I had $5,000 in an IRA. I had to use that money to figure out how to start a business. I don't think you can do that today. I really don't. I don't think you can just start up in this business today without having an income or some type of deal. I didn't know that, but the one thing I've always done, and I'm always going to stick to that, and I think my wife loves me for this, is I go, I'm never going to forget where I came from, okay? Because if you forget where you came from, then you're not going to be the person that you are. And what I mean by that, I will not turn anyone away for minimum. People say, what's your minimum? I said, I don't have a minimum. All I want to do is to know that you care enough about your own finances to allow us to help you. I
think that's actually a fear for a lot of people is, am I worth it? Do I have enough that even warrants having a financial plan? And I would argue to say the less you have, the more of a plan you need, because what if emergencies happen? I mean, like, life is chaotic and unpredictable, and we need a plan.
Everybody needs a plan. Whether you have money or not, you're going to have something. We help people, and not all the time we can do business with them. It's that simple, because their plan is already set up with their pension and the thing. But what we can help them with is Medicare. Do you have the right people? We have Medicare experts to help them, okay? Estate planning. I don't care if you have nothing. You still have to have some type of will or trust put together. This is how we put together what's called our family office. When people hear family offices, it's for the rich. They have to have $100 million, $1 billion. Yes, that's a family office based on that one person hiring all these people. To me, that's just a small company. We have a family office because we have estate planning, we have accounting work, we have Medicare experts, and we put it all together with the financial plan. So whatever people need, all they can do is come to our office, and we do it. Now, we're all individually owned, and we all have our own businesses, but we're all experts in there. but we're not experts in everything.
You know, it reminds me of a conversation I had with my mother about, you know, her health. It was, well, this doctor says I need to see this specialist, but then I need to see this. She goes, it's so overwhelming, all the specialists, and they don't work together. So, you know, it's really nice knowing that there's this comprehensive approach where we can all put this teamwork perspective together, and then we all know your scenario, and so that we can work together as a team.
100%. They do in the plan, right? They need some estate planning. We know what they need too. So with the estate planner, we can talk to him and let him know exactly what they're looking for, so it's not going ahead and circling around and he's on one page trying to send him here and we're on one page sending him here. It's all together. It's comprehensive. That's a family office. Yeah, I know people say, well, it's a family because your son works for you. Well, that's even a bonus then.
Yeah, but you consider all of your team family. They're all family
They're
too.
pretty much family, yeah. We, other than Dave, who's been around for almost as long as I have, I'm like a father to them. And I've been a coach to them. I've been a father to some. It works out good, but we all have interests together too.
Well, I love too that, as we talked about, you have, sort of this next generation coming. They understand money from a different perspective. They know your business the way you've taught them, but they're going to bring their fresh new perspective into that, which is nice for some people.
Very nice, but except for one thing that they learn and they understand it and they do it, and this is the big surprise to people that are older, that they think like a 60 or 70-year-old. They don't go ahead and say, oh, you should have all your money into stocks or Bitcoin or this. They talk to them. This is your plan for your age. This is what you need to be able to do to be successful with what you have and what you want to do.
Well, and I want people to understand the reason that changes, right, is because we do want to take some of that risk off the table as we approach retirement, so that we know that the longer we live, that we'll have the money that we need. So you have to be a little more risk averse as you get closer to retirement.
But what's very neat about it is they get it. They understand that.
Yeah.
They're like advisors being around for 20 years. They relate to people what the people need. The client comes first. Can't emphasize that enough, because they're not worried about how much money they put in their own pocket. They're worried about how we build this up as a firm. I could have easily sold the firm over the last 5 to 7 years. I didn't want to. I wanted to build this to actually have them have something at the end. You need a succession plan. I don't want to retire. What am I going to do? All right? I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not the type of person that can play golf every day or sit around every day or do nothing. I do plenty. I enjoy my life. Everything's come together. I have a great life. I got a great family. I have a great business. I got great people working for me. But more than anything, I have great clients.
Well, and I think it is a huge blessing that you love what you do and obviously are so good at it. I think we all have different paths. Well, what's nice is that the plan can be tailored to us. So if I don't want to work anymore and I want to sit on the beach drinking a margarita, which has come to my mind many a time, I want to know that there's money there to support that. I don't think my kids are going to let me do that, but it's a dream. You know what I'm saying? We all work so hard. It's nice to know that at the end we can stop working and enjoy the fruits of our labor. If that's
but they have to. Okay, that's why I try to. I just had my 50th high school reunion, right? And we went back there, and everyone's talking. Some are retired, some of this and some of that. And I kind of sat back and I said, you know what? What's pretty cool is over the last few years, everything I worked for has kind of come together. But I also know how to spend it. It's not just accumulating it, it's spending it, it's giving back, it's doing charitable work, it's coaching kids and working. Today's technology makes it so easy to run my businesses and still enjoy my life, and I'm not afraid to do that.
Well, and if this is something that you haven't visited yet, if you don't have a financial plan in place or your current advisor hasn't spoken with you about these things, this is something that is complimentary for you just for sitting here and watching us and listening to Dean and I, because your money does really matter. So that number is 520-544-4909, or you can scan that QR code at the bottom of the screen. We'll take a quick commercial break and stay with us. We'll see you in a minute.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg of Greenberg Financial Group. And Dean, we always have so much to talk about, but before the break we were talking about how to weather this financial storm. We are all just trying to get a plan together so that we have no more fear.
Right.
No more fear, am I going to run out of money? No more fear, can I retire the way I want to do? Let's know what path we're on so we know if we're in the right direction.
Let's talk about the financial plan first.
Okay.
Okay. We do it complimentary, free, all that stuff. And everyone that's there, including myself, always go, nothing's free, right? Why are they doing it? There's got to be an angle. Well, it is free. Means zero cost. Why do I do that? I do that because we have confidence in ourselves that if you come and see us and you like what we do in our plan, then you're going to implement it with somebody. And if you're going to implement it with somebody and we gave you the plan, there's a really good chance you're going to implement it with us. If you don't, that's okay. You still get that entire financial plan that you can bring to your other advisor, who might be your uncle, your father, or somebody else. But you'll always remember, we did the financial plan for you. Okay? They'll have to implement it. That's the tough part.
Well, let's talk about how you
everybody
educate.
can implement the plan.
Let's talk about how you educate your clients, though. You also have workshops, right? Quarterly workshops?
I was getting to that.
Okay.
Good job.
I'm so sorry.
So one of the things is that people like, I want to do that, but I'm kind of nervous. I don't know that, for whatever the hang-up is. We've decided every quarter starting this September, we are doing a workshop that's going to be an interactive financial plan. So we're actually going to show you what the plan looks like and how it is. And we'll do what ifs and show you different things. Obviously, it's going to be a small group. It's limited seating. And we're going to do it each quarter, so if you don't get in this one, you can do another one. But the reason we're doing it is we want questions being asked so everyone can do it. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we believe the financial plan is how you succeed in life. We believe that if you come and hear this, you will come and maybe do your own customized plan. And if you do that, at the end result, yes, I'll come clean. We want to do business with you. It's that simple. But if you don't, we're not hounding you. We're not calling you. We are very successful in what we do. We keep moving on. All right? That's how simple it is. Not everybody wants to do business with you. But 80% of the people that we meet decide to do business with us at some time.
Well, on top of getting, a free education on something that we never get educated on, in school, you also get an opportunity to maybe visit it without feeling intimidated.
100%.
You're taking the pressure off that one-on-one, and you're just sitting in a group setting where you're kind of hearing other people have similar considerations, and that.
And we're keeping it simple.
Yeah.
And we're keeping it on one topic, because just one thing about doing a plan encompasses everything. My whole family office, everything we do, there's something for people. We want you to get to know us, understand us, and I am not afraid to give out information to people because it just goes someone. If that's what you want to do, do it. It's fine. We're all about relationships. building relationships. We're a relationship business. I'm old school. I'm teaching my young guys, they're old school. You stay old school, you're different today. You're not old school anymore. It's actually new school in an old school method.
Everything comes back around.
I will not have a computer system where when you call up and you say, press 1 if you want this person, press 2 if you want this. We will answer the phone. If we're all busy, you leave a message, we will get back to you immediately.
That is like unheard of these days.
I know, it's new school.
My kids think that their generation has invented everything, and I always tell them nothing's new.
And texts. I mean, oh my God, nobody wants to talk anymore. You call someone, it goes straight to voicemail. You text them, they get right back to you. It's crazy.
They don't
I like
believe in phone
talking.
Conversations.
Speaking with people, that's how you get to know people. You ask questions, you talk to them, you find out what their needs are. That's how we help people. We all do that. Every one of my people, including me, we talk and find out everything about people.
You know, I've seen this wave ever since the pandemic of people backing away from, so, you know, there was a lot of fear that went on, right, during the pandemic, and it raised our cortisol. It made us all stressed out because it was fear of that unknown, right? And I have seen this new wave of people who are stepping away from social media because they've noticed that it brings their anxiety up, you know, and trying to get back to the ways we started with, where it was like person to person, going back into work. I know that sounds crazy, but we can go to work and we can interact with each other. We can pick up the phone. You know, we realize these are things that are healthy for us as humans.
I think what's happened with social media more than anything, people are getting tired of the exaggerations, the falsehoods, the bad narratives, the separations and stuff. There's always a little truth to some things in politics, but everyone exaggerates it for them side. And then everyone finds like, why are we doing this? Why are we talking this? Then you get these people on here and doing, and we don't even know if they're real. They can be bots. I mean, you know what I mean? Just putting out there to confuse people and do things. And it's terrible. It really is. I mean, the interrelationships are so difficult for people to have discussions and have honest, deep discussions.
Well, I mean, in this industry, I mean, are you seeing that some people are getting advice, like water cooler advice from social media on their finances and stock market? And
well, some of the younger people try to do that because they like the Reddits and they like this and they like these, you know, the people that it's all about excitement. How much rich? Listen, I get it. I remember I wanted to get all these penny stocks when I got into business and all this stuff, and that $2 stock's going to go to 200. Never did anything but lose. They all hype up. You want to make money, you do it the old-fashioned way. You invest over time. There's two different types of people. There's the traders and investors, and you could be both. Put your money in that you're investing for the long time. Do the trading, but you better know how to trade. Because trading doesn't, the worst thing a trader does is turn a loss into an investment. And an investment into a trade. If you're investing, invest. If you're trading, trade.
You know, we've talked about how health and wealth are two of the most like personal things you can deal with somebody. You wouldn't take medical advice from somebody on social media and start prescribing yourself medication because you saw it. And you shouldn't do the same thing with your finances. You really do need to work with a professional who knows this is what you do day in and day out. And there are so many intricate parts to this that lead into our whole financial plan. It is not smart to start just piecemealing information because you can get a lot of false information.
You know, some people are so smart. Doctors are so smart. It makes me laugh on how many doctors. I just do it on my own. I just do it on my own. Okay, am I going to operate on myself?
Yeah, exactly.
Am I going to diagnose myself? I'll even go to Google and look up stuff and symptoms, but I'm still going to the doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Be educated to know what you're doing, but go find somebody that could help you. You know what I mean? The 1% on the average that it costs you to have someone in the business that you trust that helps you will go a long way. You know what I mean? They'll do research for you. They'll do things for you. They'll take care of the business for you, and they'll come up with ideas for you. You'll find someone you like.
Look, to me, there's no downside to getting especially a complimentary financial plan. If you have a plan currently in place and you haven't revisited, or you've never visited this before, this is an opportunity to find out, are you on the right track? Don't we all want to know? So if we're not, we can get there.
Or show up at the workshop, and for doing that, we'll also give you lunch. I hate to do that. I hate to bribe them with lunch, but you know what? Some people need to be bribed.
I can definitely be bought with food. Food is my love language, so you're talking to the right person. That phone number is 520-544-4909, or there's a QR code at the bottom of your screen. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back and talk more about Your Money Matters.
This is Money Matters with Dean Greenberg of the Greenberg Financial Group. I'm Spike Spangle. Dean, what really got you started in this industry?
It was because I was working for Ford Motor Company. I had ordered all the dealerships, and I kind of looked at things and I said, this is not what I want. So I went back and got my MBA in finance and investments and said, I'm going to work on Wall Street. I didn't really know the journey I was going to have until later on, 1987, when the market crashed.
Yeah. Black Monday.
Black Monday. The only person in a company of 600 and some odd brokers. I was buying IBM, and I opened a $500,000 account. So they say to me, hey, this is unbelievable. How did you do this? What did you do? I just said, because I thought it was the right thing to do. Down 20%, it was probably a good time to buy, and I was more of a technician and an advisor and an educator at that time. Long story short, they tell me a week later I never owned the stock. The back offices back then could not handle 1 billion shares a day. So a week and a half later, they tell me I don't own it, and I needed to call the client to tell them they didn't own the stock. And I told them that they should pay the client. Next day I came in, my box of stuff was in there, and they told me I was fired. And I went to go see the guy I knew to go get a job. And he said, Dean, I'd hire you tomorrow, but you need to start your own business. I laughed at him and said, how am I going to start my own business? I only have $5,000. He said, figure it out. We're all salesmen. You educate. You care about the markets. You care about your clients. So I guess I figured it out.
Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. I'm Sarah Peterson here with Dean Greenberg. And Dean, there is so much turbulence in the world, right? But as you said in other episodes we've talked about, yes, there's turbulence in the world right now, but there has been
forever.
Forever. And it's just now we're seeing things instantly, so we're always feeling like we're seeing them more than we ever have, but it's because we didn't have social media before. We didn't have this coverage that we had before. I mean, if you look back in history, there's been turbulence, always. So
and there have been great times too.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about the positive right now.
I love it.
Okay?
Glass is half full.
History
today.
repeats itself. 100 years ago, we had the pandemic. Then what happened after the pandemic? We had the Roaring 20s. What was that? Pretty much the manufacturing, the smokestacks, the cars, everything. It was all that type of technology back then. We've had these things happen. After 87, we went through another wonderful time. We started it with the computers. We started it with the internet, which rose us to what? The smartphones. That's changed everything. In basically 15, 20 years, we've had nothing new come about that changes the way we go through life. Well, we do now. AI, artificial intelligence, and this is the beginning stages. So everything that's related to that is going to go ahead and do well for the next 5 to 10 or 15 years. Are we going to have pullbacks? Yes. We're in that new age, golden age right now of here's the industry that's doing this. Technology changes the way we look at it, but it's technology that keeps us abreast and keeps us ahead in the world. We have it. So now what happens? We ride it. Are we going to have another move big down at some time? Absolutely. So you have to understand when things get stretched out at times, you have to know how to mitigate risk so you don't have to give it all back. And it's called allocation. It's called taking money off the table. It's called buying protective insurance. It's buying into investments that there's no downside, only upside, but it's limited, okay? And then there's also annuities. All right, that you can get that are insured and guaranteed by the insurance companies. And so there's ways to protect and allocate. But you don't know how to invest it until you do what? Put your plan together. How much money are you going to need? I'm going to make it so simple. What do you do? You need to know how much income you have as you're living through those years. You put some away, you spend some, and you pay your bills. When you retire and don't have that income, you're sane. You still have bills. You still have dreams. You still want to do things. And you have to take it from where? Your investments and your retirement income. Where's retirement income from? If you're lucky enough to get a pension, it comes from a little bit of Social Security, and the rest has to come from the investments that you saved. So that means that everyone's lifestyle is different when they get to not working anymore. If you're just living off Social Security, then that's going to be a whole different situation. And, you know, you're going to have, it's not going to be easy anymore. But you have to figure it out how to do it. Otherwise, where are you going to be? And there's going to be government assistance and different things for that. If you get to that, what we try to do is get you to have a sense of accomplishment that when you get there, it's not about being rich. Everyone says, what is rich? You know what rich is? That you get to a point in your life that you can pay your bills, have money for your children and grandchildren to go do things with, fulfill your dreams that you had, and not stress out. That's life. It could be 500 grand, it could be 100 grand, it could be $10 million. Whatever it is, not feeling that stress, living within your means, and be able to accomplish what you want to do, that's success.
That sounds like heaven to me, like to take that worry off the table, because I have enough to be worried about in my everyday life. I want to be sure that there's food on the table. I want to be sure that we can do the things that we want to do and our kids are safe and they're protected. And in order to do that without a plan, there's no way forward.
Right, and that's why right now we're changing the things, getting people off the subsidy programs that don't belong on it, okay? So the people that need it can get more. It's that simple, you know? I mean, if we continue to pay to people that are undocumented, that don't supposed to be getting it, or doing fraud, or doing these other things, or everything else that we saw going on, which we don't hear that much about now, but getting rid of that, those that really need it, and there are a lot of people that need it, they need to get the assistance. I'm great with that. But if you're able-bodied but just lazy and you think you need the money, hell no. Go to work and we'll subsidize you a little bit, but show us that you're willing to try to do something. Don't sit home and do nothing and expect all these people, especially the young people, that are paying the taxes to go to you. It needs to build America.
I love your positive attitude, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that you have worked with these plans for so long that you know once a plan is in place, there's so much less to be worried about. And so for the people who are watching the show, if they've never discussed a financial plan, if you're getting close to retirement, or even if you're not close to retirement but you want to start planning for it, now is the time. It's complimentary. And these quarterly workshops are really a great idea because we don't get educated on this stuff in school.
Right.
Why not? I don't know. It's crazy. We go to school.
Because the educators have never been educated.
Correct.
All right? I deal with these educators. They go, can I come talk to you? I said, yes. I said, why don't you implement this? Well, it's not in the curriculum. Well, change it. You know? Every governor that wants money and does stuff, I said, what are you doing about education? When we're so bad in the world, why do we stay where we are? Why are we in the bottom 5% of education? What are you going to do to change it? They all have no answers.
Well, listen, the wonderful thing about the world we live in is what education you don't get in school, oftentimes you can have access to. We are in the information age, right? And so what you're doing is sharing that education with our listeners, and spread the word. If you have friends that haven't had this types of conversation, why not? Find out if you're on the right path so you can get that margarita on the beach, which you so very deserve. Or maybe that's me I'm talking about. That phone number is 520-544-4909, or scan the QR code on the bottom of the screen. This is completely complimentary, and we hope you've enjoyed and learned something from today's show.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Absolutely.
You're so
Thank
great
you.
to work with.
And you don't even drink coffee, and look at all that energy you've got. See? This is the kind of guy you want to work with. Thank you so much, and we hope you'll join us on the next Money Matters.